This is the last sheet that you're going to do today with the sub, and it is an integer word problem. So there's going to be some addition, some subtraction, and some just basic integer stuff. I can go over a few of these. It's one of those things, the more you understand it, the easier these are going to be. So I'll go over a few, but you're just going to have to work at understanding these, work at practicing with them, use your pencil, write things down, try different things, and eventually you'll find you're going to come to the right answers. But it takes work. There's no quick and easy way to do some of these. And some of them are easier than others. Let's start with number one. So you can read Tiger Woods scores -3. So one great thing to do is to sort of, as you're reading word problems, organize your information. So I see that's a -3, Tiger Woods. And then Phil is -5. And it wants to know who is in the lead by how many shots. So, first of all, in golf, it says the lowest score wins. So, first thing you need to know is which score is lowest. Well, -5 is lower than -3 because remember, negatives are backwards. So, we'll just put Phil is the lowest, and put a semicolon there because we need to put how many shots. And it says use a number line. You can kind of do that as you need to. You don't have to do the number line or models for this because we've done lots of those anyway, so if you can skip that, that's fine. Probably the easiest way to do this, though, is to think of a number line. 0, and all I need are negatives. -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's -5. And then -3 is 1, 2, 3. And you can see there's a 2-shot difference. 2-shot difference. You could have also just subtracted, but since it said difference, subtract. But probably thinking of a number line is easier in this case. So let's look at this. Tom left school and walked 5 blocks east. Charlie left school and walked the same distance west. How far apart did the two friends end up? So if you think of once again, it's probably easier to think of in terms of a number line. The school is at 0, and we're just going to go ahead and say that east is to the right, west is to the left. So he walks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Charlie, his friend, walked the same distance but the opposite direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He's at -5. And you want to say how far are they apart? Well, one way to do it is just to say 5 minus -5, because that's how you tell distance, you subtract. If you do it that way, since it's distance, you would need to find the absolute value of the answer, because remember, distance is absolute value. That's kind of complicated, but it's less than it seems. Just add the opposite. 5 plus 5 is 10, so 10 apart. The other way to do it is just to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. So they ended up 10 blocks apart. So the elevator starts on the 8th floor, went up 5 floors, then went down 2 floors. What floor is it on now? So since it's an elevator, I would do a vertical number line. So it starts on the 8th floor. Then it goes up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So up 5 from 8 would be the 13th floor. Then it went down 2. So we're going to just go down 1, 2 to there. So right now, it would be on the 11th floor. 11th floor. So go to the back and do a couple back there. So there is a shaved ice shack on 600 South. Both Mary and Lena live on 600 South. Mary lives 5 blocks west of the shack. Lena lives 3 blocks east of it. So how far apart do they live? So you could do a number line again. Let's try doing it a different way. Once again, draw a number line if you need to. I may do that at the end. We're going to say 5 blocks west. Sorry, Miss Watkins is giving me a hard time looking into the room. So please, when you go to her class today, give her a hard time as well.
Woohoo! We have fun.
All right, 5 blocks west. We're going to say that that's a -5. You could have done differently than that. 3 blocks east, since we said the west was a negative, we're going to say east is a positive. So all I've done now is west was -5, we said east is +3. And if you want to tell how far two things are apart, you subtract. So what we have here is -5 minus +3. We don't subtract anymore, we always add the opposite. So what we really have is -5 plus a -3, which is -8. Now we know that it's impossible for two things to live -8 blocks apart, since it's distance. And I know, I hope that all of you remember that when we deal with distance, we don't want a negative answer, and so we find the absolute value because it's distance, which is actually 8. So you can do these with expressions and subtractions. Just remember, if you're trying to ever tell how far two things are apart, you're going to have subtraction involved. In most of these, like I said, you could just do on a number line with 0 and put one at -5 and one at +3, and then just count and see how far they are apart. Just come up with some way that works for you to solve these.